following podcast is set for at least 1 hour. Introducing your hosts, from Fort Worth, Texas, at a total combined weight of 430 pounds, Kevin and Chris Newell. The Cross Promo Pro Wrestling Podcast.
How's it going, wrestling fans? I'm Kevin.
And I'm Chris.
And we are the Cross Promo Pro Wrestling Podcast. Yes, if you've just noticed that the name looks a little bit different.
You didn't update the thing.
That means it's a pay-per-view that just took place. Of course, we're talking about TNA's Rebellion that just happened. Overall, it was a pretty good pay-per-view. I mean, they lived up to the name of their show, or their promotion, Total Nonstop Action.
Yeah. No staple guns, though, so Dad was able to...
No staple pew-pews, yes.
Oh, yeah, pew-pews, yeah, sorry. So he was able to sit through and watch this just fine. Hey, Aaron. No, that's that Chris, not this Chris.
Yes, he's talking to us through our Twitch chat. We are live right now, streaming live for our podcast. We are on YouTube. We are on Twitch. We are on Kick.
Little Loose is here too, it looks like.
Little Loose is here too. You're going to listen closely because you forgot to watch. That's okay, Little Loose.
Right.
We'll fill you in on what you missed, man. Okay. Give me a second here to kind of move some things around on all three monitors. Yes, I said three. We upgraded. Okay, so we had a lot going on. Of course, we had 10 matches total for the whole event. 2 of them, of course, counting the pre-show that started things off. So I'll go ahead and get started with that. And again, that is my watch.
You might want to scroll up a little bit because there was a little gap between the countdown and...
Oh, yeah. I see what you did. I see what you did there. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Give me a second here to get all that all prepped up. All right. So, before we begin, there are... it's the Chris, not that Chris. We did miss saying that.
Yeah.
We sure did. Of course, we're talking to our Twitch chat. If you want to see what's going on or what's being said, join us. Join us on Twitch. Join us on YouTube. Join us on Kick. We're also streaming live on Instagram. All right.
And sooner or later, we're going to look into getting the TikTok lives back up.
It's definitely a work in progress with that one.
Yeah.
All right. So, we're not going to go over any news today. We're strictly just going to talk about the pay-per-view and get your guys' thoughts.
One of the two.
They consider it a pay-per-view. It's not a premium live event because,
you got to pay twice.
It's a lot of technicalities and all that stuff you have to go through. Also, just a reminder, we do have the polls still up for Match of the Week. That's counting from Monday to Saturday.
Of last week. Whole
new poll starts on Sunday. And the poll will end tomorrow before Raw. That way, when we do our recap for tomorrow for Monday Night Raw, we'll give you guys the results on who won Match of the Week for last week. Chris, you want to fill them in on that?
On what? The poll thing?
The poll thing? Yeah. As far as, not only who has voted so far, but how to get to it and everything like that. Because you posted a video earlier on TikTok.
In the description for that video, there was a link to our Discord server, the TikTok I put out. So you go to that link, you should be able to join the server if you haven't already. And then as for the vote, the poll for Match of the Week, we've only got one vote. Probably shouldn't say who voted.
No,
for
don't say, but
or
do
what
put
they voted for.
Do put out the choices that way.
We got Stephanie Vakir versus Io Sky on Raw. For NXT, we had Roxanne Perez versus Stephanie Vakir, so she was in there twice.
Yeah.
Statlander versus Jamie Hayter on, I think, Dynamite.
Mm-hmm.
Then you had Elijah and Joe Hendry teaming up against Ethan Page and Frankie Kazarian for TNA Impact. And then for Friday, and this is the one I'm going for, Street Profits, DIY, and Motor City Machine Guns.
That's the one you're rooting to hope to win?
So far, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we had one on Collision, too.
That one was FTR and Paragon.
Okay. All right. Cross promo is Oozy. Wrestling is Oozy.
It's Uzi.
Everything is Oozy. Thank you, Little Luce. All right. Well, let's get this show underway with the results and everything. Hang on. Something about that.
I gotta find the notes again.
Image coming through. I'm coming through a bit staticky, it looks like there. Give me a sec here, folks. We're trying to...
Everything looks kind of staticky.
Yeah. Trying to fix some things here.
You think it's something with, like, the sharpness or the
hello.
gain?
Get to see a little bit of behind the scenes a little bit.
Try sharpness.
Yeah, we've been at this for a week now, so...
Could it be gain? I don't know. Oh, nope, not that.
Well, no, because we just went dark there. Oh, well. We'll live with it for now. All right.
Could be the lighting.
It's
We'll
all
figure it
right.
out.
All right, folks. So, again, we'll go over the results here. So, they had their countdown to Rebellion. And the first match they shown was a 6-woman tag match featuring JC Jane. And, well, you had Fatal Influence, JC Jane, Fallon Henley, and was it Jasmine Mix? These are Chris's notes that I'm trying to read.
Yeah, my notes are kind of hard to
But
read.
they were going up against Li Ying Lee, Rosemary, and Zaya Brookside. It was a pretty good match. And then you ended up having, towards the end, you had Rosemary toss Zaya Brookside some brass knuckles and encouraged her to use them.
I don't think she used them.
She never did. She refused them. She just threw them outside the ring, and that's when JC Jane had pushed Zaya into Rosemary. Rosemary gets knocked to the floor, and JC Jane knocks Zaya Brookside out, tries to go for the pin, then Li Ying Lee came in, and JC Jane ended up picking up the win for Fatal Influence. The next match, you had Elijah issuing an open challenge to anyone in the back, and you had Shane Haste answering that challenge. Of course, it was. You would think it was going to be a quick match.
It wasn't. It went on for a little bit.
It went on for quite a bit, and you had Elijah pick up the win. And I just realized I read the next match, and you were supposed to read the next match. You read the next two after me.
Yeah.
So Elijah pinned Shane and picked up the win. All right. Then everything started to get kicked off for the Rebellion pay-per-view.
The first match for that pay-per-view, the pay-per-view proper, or official or whatever, was the Ultimate X Division title match defense thing, where you had Moose defending in that match, if I remember right. KC Navarro, Leon Slater, El Hijo del Vikingo, Moose, Sidney Akim, and Matt Cardona were all in that match. You had AJ Francis kind of come out with, I forget exactly who he came out with.
He came out with...
Was it Navarro?
Navarro.
I was about to say, I want to say Navarro, but not 100% sure.
No, he came out with Navarro.
Vikingo came out with 2 fans, and Alicia Edwards also kind of came out.
Came out with Moose.
Yeah. And then during the little match opening,
The
I guess,
tail
description
It
thing,
was like the tail of the tape kind of thing.
you had this noted there that Moose was scared of heights, and at some point during that match, he, instead of trying to climb up and get the thing, he like tried standing on a chair
And tried reaching for it. That was like hilarious to watch. Then he got Alicia Edwards to try to climb up. And she climbed up but lost her grip and he caught her.
So that didn't work either.
No.
He ended up getting the belt back, or I guess defending, after Leon Slater climbed up and got it down. And then before Leon Slater both his feet could touch the mat, he speared him midair. And then he picked up the belt, and that's how he retained.
See, I wasn't too sure about that. I didn't like that rule. You know, the feet have to touch the floor with the belt or touch the ring in order to win.
Well, I'm guessing
I didn't
that's what
like
it
that. I
was.
don't like that rule. I like the classic ladder match rule kind of thing, you know. But
Yeah.
hey,
That's
you
what
try to be unique and different.
Yeah. And then you had the Elegance faction thing. I forgot their name. Against the 2 women from that, Ash by Elegance and Heather by Elegance, against Gigi Dolan, Tatum Paxley, against Jakira Jackson and Lash Legend, against Danny Luna and Jody Threat. That was for the TNA Knockouts tag title. You had Ariana Grace at commentary. And another thing we noticed while watching this was you had 2 TNA tag teams and 2 NXT tag teams.
Yeah,
which was interesting.
almost kind of gave the vibe of the Invasion storyline all over again.
Yeah, it 100% had to give him flashbacks.
Looks like the cat's trying to come out again.
Marigold wants to be on camera again.
Again.
Yeah. The match ended when Heather pinned Gigi Dolan, so her team keeps the title belts. Then you had an injury report. Now, as we already knew, going into this, Joe Hendry is clear, and so is Zachary Rentz, because he had a match just after the injury report went up. Then you had Sami Callihan, and they were talking about Sami Callihan and Mance Warner, who are both out on injury right now.
Okay.
And then that goes into the next match with Steve Macklin and Eric Young.
No, that wasn't the next match.
Oh, no, yeah, I skipped over that one. Sorry.
I'll get this one. You can give you'll take care of the Steve Macklin one.
Yeah.
So you had the System and Ace Austin team up to take on, you had the System take on the team up of Ace Austin and the Rascals. His notes, not mine. His notes. All right.
My notes make almost as much sense as what I'm over here saying.
Yeah. With the Rascals and Ace Austin, they had Sean Waltman, better known as X-Pac, or 1-2-3 Kid, for you old school wrestlers like me, or
Like
old
you.
school wrestling fans like me. Yeah. He escorted him.
Like you.
Like me. Overall, good match. At one point, Sean Waltman got slapped by Alicia Edwards. And
I forgot her name too.
yeah, I blanked out.
That Chris, not this Chris, said that he saw that match.
That's the match you saw? Okay. So after the slap, he gets her in the ring and then does his patent X-Pac, Bronc Buster or whatever. I can't remember what it's called. She's in the corner and he's just doing his little thing that he does when he rides people on the corner. But with that, you had Ace and the Rascals win by pinfall. So it was an overall entertaining match. Let me scroll down here because Chris has got the next match. Go ahead, Chris.
Then we have the Steve Macklin Eric Young match. I will be skipped ahead to it for the TNA International title. So now TNA and AEW have international titles.
Yeah.
Before that match, you had this little interview where Steve Macklin was asked something, but he didn't answer. He just kind of gave like this sort of stare into the camera. Then after that, he got up and left for the ring.
Okay.
You had, then after he got to the ring, you had Northern Armory come out, and they kind of stayed at ringside, and they interfered in the match. The match ended with Macklin retaining by pinfall. So again, no staple pew-pews. So this match was perfectly safe for Dad. Matt Chris said that he saw parts of this match because he likes Eric.
Okay.
Then after that match, you had Eric Young and the Armory, again his faction, attack and over here try hanging Steve Macklin with like some chain.
With the chain, yeah. Yeah. That one, I was thinking someone was going to come out and help him, but no, that didn't happen at all.
Well, at the same time, it's like, who does he have in his corner, Macklin, at this point?
I don't know. All right, for the next match, you had Mike Santana taking on Mustafa Ali in a Falls Count Anywhere match, and this match went everywhere. It went ringside, it went into the crowd, it went into the stands.
It was like this weird entrance-looking thing that was over in the crowd.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's called, but I know it was there.
It was just an entranceway into the arena.
Yeah. That's what it's called.
You had Tasha Steelz at ringside for Mustafa Ali, but you also had his little Secret Service guys just hanging around in the arena, apparently.
A ton of them.
There was this one moment where Ali tried to take a dive to the outside of the ring and really just rammed his head into one of the metal stairs.
Use your head!
He used it all right.
Yeah. While the stairs were like stood up on the back part of them.
Right. And I mean, this was a real brutal match, and these guys, I mean, you would think they would have not have kicked out. They
went through like 3 tables.
They went through 3 tables. You had Ali do a 450 splash onto Santana on one table. Then I believe Santana went through another table.
Yeah. Well, no, he put
Tasha Steelz through a table because Tasha Steelz was trying to interfere in the match.
But you said something about how he went through the table more than her or something like that.
Yeah, at that point. And then there was a third table where
it was like
Santana,
propped up. The stairs were propped up in a corner for that one.
Yeah, and then you had the Secret Service guys, two main ones handcuffed to the ropes. You had the
like
steel steps steel steps were propped up against one corner, and Mustafa Ali was about to do another 450 splash, but Santana stopped it and climbed up, gave him a superplex off of the top of the stairs. Now remember, the top of the stairs were like vertical. They weren't laying down like they were supposed to. They were vertical. So,
lots of standing stairs for this match.
Yeah. So did a superplex, and then I noticed something.
Oh, I remember. Okay.
And
I'll let you explain this.
It's an old trick in wrestling, and I know I'm not supposed to like pull back the curtain, but I mean,
WWE did that on Netflix.
If you saw the match, then you can understand what I'm talking about. In a brief moment, if you go back and watch it, and you'll see what I'm talking about.
If they didn't cut it out already.
They probably, if they didn't, yeah.
On our end, I don't know if it was like technical difficulties on our end or they just blacked out the screen, but we couldn't see what was going on for a short period of time.
For a brief moment, I saw Santana messing with something in his hands, and the next thing I know, he's getting hit in the head with a bat that was that had barbed wire wrapped around it, and that's when I
looked like something the Death Riders would use.
It was when I saw that, I was like, okay, he's making himself bleed and everything for a selling effect. And I saw him mess with a package that the razor blade was in. And I was like, okay, I see what he's doing. And I mean, everybody knows how that's done. There's video out there circulating in social media of you remember it was All In London, CM Punk versus Samoa Joe. There's a video of CM Punk underneath the commentating table. A fan is recording Punk stabbing himself in the forehead with the blade just to get the effect. And you don't see that on camera. You see Samoa Joe just over here playing to the crowd, and the next time you see Punk, he's already bleeding. So it's a little magician's trick. I mean, everybody knows how that's done. And
look here, not there.
Yeah. And I noticed that whenever I was watching the match. I'm like, oh, I see. Okay.
And the look here is over we're just gonna black out your screen for a bit. You're not gonna see.
And then Mustafa Ali tried to focus on Mustafa Ali, throwing his hands in the air like, yeah,
I win.
I did it. I hit him in the head with a bat. There was also earlier in that match. Yeah. Chris, see, he remembers that.
That Chris.
Not this Chris.
He almost forgot to do it.
I almost forgot to do it. It's been so long. Oh my god. Anyway, there was a spot where a whole bunch of Secret Service was holding Santana back, and you had Mustafa Ali climbing up this railway in the stands. And, of course, he takes the big dive and tries to pin right there, and it didn't work.
The lights just blink.
Huh? Okay. Anyway. So then Santana was able to put his finisher on Ali and get the pin and the win.
That rhymed.
I try to do
that
rhyming.
Rhymed.
All right. Well, Chris has got the next match. Go ahead, Chris.
Well, before they ended up getting to that match, there was like this interview going on with Indy Hartwell, and they announced that Indy Hartwell has signed with TNA.
Indy Hartwell is now a part of TNA. Yes, that was a big surprise.
It was,
and a big announcement too. And how fitting.
Did the news say anything about that?
They probably will.
All right. No, I mean like beforehand.
No word yet. It was a big surprise. It was a big surprise by everybody.
Well, after that interview thing, we had Masha Slamovich versus Tessa Blanchard for the Knockouts World Title.
Okay.
Or TNA Knockouts World Title. Where I didn't get too many notes on this one. This is when I had to keep up with lasagna, so I was going back and forth.
Yeah, we had lasagna for dinner, by the way. If anyone was wanting to know what he meant by that.
But I was able to get how it ended. You had Tessa Blanchard tap out for that match.
I mean, it was a hard-fought match by both women, and we've seen Tessa Blanchard live when
that was at Queen's Gambit.
Queen's Gambit for VIP wrestling here in Fort Worth at the Holcomb City Theater. Yeah. So it was a great match she had too. So to see her live was pretty awesome. But then to see her go for the title here, so okay. And that was like part of the triple main event too.
Instead of a double main event.
It was a triple main event. And we're kind of going through these matches a little too quickly, if you ask me.
Yeah, we only got 2 matches left,
and we're only halfway through the show.
Yeah.
We're looking at the chat here. We had someone ask, was wondering what Indy Hartwell was doing. Now I know if I spelled. Yeah, you got her name right. She was just announcing she got signed to TNA. So, so next up we had the second match of our triple threat main event match, and that was, of course, the Namath brothers taking on the Hardys in a tag team match for the TNA tag titles. Now, I'm trying to talk in between the Namath brothers. My mouth is like, there we go. Move out of the way, you two. Okay. So, of course, a brawl breaks out before the bell rings between all 4.
The Hardys taking back their belts.
Of course, yeah, that was stolen from the Hardy complex. Of course, you saw a lot of classic moves by the Hardy Boys: Poetry in Motion, Whisper in the Wind. You also, we never saw Swanton Bomb from Jeff. We saw Twists of Fate. We saw a Side Effect, but never saw a Swanton Bomb.
It was.
It was a decent match. Yeah, it was.
The last 2 or 3 also ended up being like match of the night contenders.
The women's match. Yeah, there were
the last 3.
The last few were like, okay, we got to really decide what's going to be match of the night for the show. It was hard to determine, but we'll get to that in a second. So it ended up with Matt kind of did a little mistake here. I thought the Hardys had it won, and Matt decided to step over the ref or whatever and got things tangled up to where she could not do the 3 count. She only got to 2 because I guess he saw Ryan was about to come into the ring because Jeff had Nick pinned. And then Ryan then did eventually break up the pin, but Matt took him outside of the ring, and everyone thought he was getting a table, but got a folding chair and was about to slam Ryan onto the chair, but Ryan countered it, slammed Matt through the chair, and that incapacitated Matt to jump in and help, and that's when Nick low-blowed Jeff, got his finisher in, got the pin. You got new TNA World Tag Team Champions. We'll get to that in a second, Chris.
That Chris, not this Chris.
Yeah, that Chris, that's on our chat, not this one right here. Okay, so yes, new TNA Tag Team Champions, the Namath Brothers, or as they like to call themselves, the Hollywood Heels. They call themselves the Hollywood Heels.
Why did they do that?
Not Hollywood Hills, Hollywood Heels, because they're bad guys. Heels, bad guys. Get it?
What do they do in Hollywood?
That's where they're from. They're from that area.
Also, you notice how in that picture he kind of looks like one of the guys from Pretty Deadly?
Oh, you mean Nick? Yeah, in a way he does.
Yeah.
Yes, boy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, boy.
Chris, you got the main event.
Yeah. Joe Hendry versus Ethan Page, triple threat, and Frankie Kazarian, where some of the notes this was for the TNA World title. I noticed at one point during that match you had Frankie Kazarian kind of mocking Joe Hendry. He did the turn and like the clap stomp thing.
Yeah. Really early on in the match too.
And then I think it was Ethan Page that he brought the belt in. He tried attacking Joe Hendry with it, did not work. He ended up dropping the belt because Joe Hendry reversed it, and the belt fell onto the mat. But then Joe Hendry still ended up hitting the mat because the belt while it was on the mat because he did some like slam thing, and he still kicked out after Ethan Page pinned him after his face hit the belt. Match ended with Joe pinning Ethan, so he retained.
And Frankie did go through a table too.
I forgot to get note of that.
Yeah, Joe Hendry had put him through a table.
Yeah. So
And there were some close ones.
4 tables were harmed in the making of this pay-per-view. At least.
He's counting how many tables are damaged. That's pretty awesome.
At least 4. There might have been more. I'm not 100% sure. But at least 4.
But it was a really good match. I didn't think they were playing the whole Joe Hendry's shoulder injury that much.
I don't think. Well, he was cleared, so.
He was cleared, but still, you would think they would be going after his shoulder a lot more, but they didn't.
And then you were saying that if he lost this, that
I was predicting if he lost the match, then his next stop would be NXT,
or
which
WWE.
I think And I'm thinking that's probably what's going to happen with the Hardys is now that they've lost their tag titles, they may be going to WWE because we did report, I think it was last night, that
it was sometime this week.
it was sometime this week I reported that the Hardy Boys have been in talks with WWE since WrestleMania 41. So.
But after that match, you had Trick, who's, I guess, going to be trying to come out for that title now. He came out and attacked Joe Hendry.
Yeah. So we don't know what the fallout is going to be. Joe Hendry could be coming to NXT maybe later on in the week. We don't know. But overall, great pay-per-view. It was a really good pay-per-view. Crowd was about it.
They were?
They were into it. During the Masha Slamovich and Tessa Blanchard match,
They were chanting CM Punk.
so I think the crowd was starting to get bored because they started chanting Cena. They were starting to do Cena chants.
It was either Cena or CM Punk.
No. They were doing both. They were doing Cena chants and CM Punk chants. And it was like, okay, either they're bored
or we're
or
mishearing them
something.
or something.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't make heads or tails of what they were saying.
It
so
sounded like they were saying CM Punk when I started hearing. And I was like, why are they chanting CM Punk?
Yeah.
CM Punk ain't here. What's going on?
Yeah, it's like, why would he show up with this match? You know?
Yeah.
Especially when he's got his own story going right now with Paul Heyman and Seth.
And why bring it up in the middle of a women's title match
Yeah. On TNA.
on TNA? So overall, I like the pay-per-view. Your thoughts on it?
A good pay-per-view.
Okay. And first one for us to cover on the show on our great return to podcasting, of course. See, now we got to pick match of the night. And this is going for next week, not the one that's already being voted upon.
Or do you think we should do pay-per-views in like a separate
No.
bracket?
No.
Because I feel like that would be kind of unfair to some of the weekly shows.
You never know. You
Yeah,
never
that's
know.
true.
Because sometimes the weekly shows will bust out with a good pay-per-view kind of match.
Like the one with the Street Profits that we saw on SmackDown.
That was pay-per-view quality right there.
It was.
But for Rebellion tonight, I want to put out there the Falls Count Anywhere match.
I'm going to say the same thing.
Okay. So it's
The
unanimous.
The Ali Santana match.
Yeah, Ali Santana match. We say that. I say that because there were so many false finishes. I thought the match was going to be over with, and
Yeah.
they would be kicking out of the most ridiculous ones. And it's like, okay, he just took a bat to the head. How can he even try to
And
even
then after
kick
that,
out?
he won.
And then following that, he won, yeah. Bleeding.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. See, you're getting me to yawn now.
It's his turn. His turn this
Oh,
episode.
my gosh. Making me yawn.
Uh,
All right. So we'll have that on for the next voting for next week. But this week, we've only got one vote in, folks.
oh, yeah,
We
that's right,
need
I
you to
gotta
be
check.
active in the polls. If you want to join our Discord, we do have a TikTok out there that has a link to our Discord. Click on it. Join our Discord. Be a part of the voting process. We want to hear from you guys so much on what you think match of the week would be. We don't want to decide match of the week. We want to leave that to you guys. We decide what match of the night would be.
So the voting time frame should expire like 9 o'clock in the morning tomorrow for our time. Or if you are in the server, it'll show how many hours it has left. So 10 hours from now.
And we may extend it.
Yeah.
That way it gives people enough time to vote, but really need you guys to get in there and start voting. We really would love to hear from you guys and get feedback on what you guys think and go from that. You can also find us on all other social media sites. Of course, you've got TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Threads, X, formerly Twitter, or in Chris's case, Twitter, formerly X. Of course,
Yeah.
we have our Discord.
That's where the poll is. It's in the Discord.
Yeah.
As well as all the places that we're currently live at. So Kick, YouTube, Twitch. You already said that, didn't you?
I did.
And Instagram.
Now, I know we didn't do this last week, and this is going to go right back to the comment that was in the chat there. Just recapping all of last week. What was the one moment that stood out to you the most of all of last week? From Monday to Saturday.
I'd guess probably the Hardy Compound and that match with the Street Profits, the ladder match on SmackDown. Those two.
Okay. I would say I would have to say that TLC match on SmackDown stood out to me the most because that was.
Oh yeah,
it was
TLC.
very, very intense. It's been a long time since we've seen a TLC match. As far as what I think, we had a comment here. Didn't like the whole Hardy Compound segment. Yeah, someone says they didn't like the Hardy Compound segment. Why is that? If you want to put it in the chat. Because, again, we'd love to get feedback from you guys and talk with you guys while we're live on the show. Because we just got done doing the recap, and we just want to...
That was pretty much that's all we had planned for this
That's all we had
episode.
planned for tonight's episode, and we don't want to end the episode short.
Yeah, we got like 15 minutes to finish off with.
Well, no, more than that.
Maybe.
Give or take. But,
I don't know. I'm not gonna try doing math.
don't do math.
Yeah.
You'll come out looking like Rick Steiner. But yeah, if you guys are in the chat or anywhere here, be it YouTube or anywhere, please give us some feedback. Tell us what you guys thought the most standout moment of last week was. For Chris and I, definitely the TLC
SmackDown.
match, the Hardy Compound. That was your first time watching the Hardy Compound, I believe.
Yeah. He thought they did it better with WWE.
I would agree with that too. I would agree with that too because the Bray Wyatt one was a really, really good one for the Hardy Compound.
Yeah.
I think that was one of the main ones that I enjoyed. I did. I enjoyed the Bray Wyatt one, which was really, really good. They did have one for AEW, which was pretty decent, but...
I very vaguely remember the AEW one.
Right.
Like, barely even bits and pieces.
Sorry, I'm just refreshing the chats here. Okay.
Still nothing from YouTube or Kick, it seems.
Okay. Well, I mean, we did get. I mean, this past week, it was just the week after WrestleMania. A lot of falling out with that. Some rivalries still not over with, like Jade Cargill and Naomi. That's far from over. Some have now.
They're proceeding on with that one. With caution.
Some have been reignited, like Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton. And definitely one's continuing, and with new additions. Of course, the three-way hate of CM Punk, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns. Now looking like Seth Rollins is making his own faction, and starting it with Paul Heyman as the manager and Braun Breaker. And I'm guessing he's bringing Braun Breaker for protection and for muscle.
Yeah.
So, if anyone out there, feel free to drop us drop it here in the chat. Mention it to us through social media. Who you guys think is going to be the new member or new addition to Seth Rollins' faction?
Cat got locked back up.
Okay,
I just noticed that.
you got a random thought there. And who do you think could be joining this little faction that Seth is putting together?
not too sure about that actually.
I would go and say
Maybe
Becky Lynch.
Yeah, I was about to say maybe Becky Lynch.
Becky Lynch was more than likely going to join. I did report there was a report out today. Adam Pearce had put out a video on social media. He will not be there in Kansas City for Monday Night Raw tomorrow night. Nick Aldis will be kind of filling in for him in the managerial positions.
Okay, I was about to say, I guess it's going to be a real chaotic Monday Night Raw then.
No, Nick Aldis is going to be there. That's going to be interesting. The way he runs SmackDown, and then you got him on Raw.
Yeah.
Becky Lynch is going to be there to kind of explain why she attacked Lyra Valkyria. And, I mean, for all we know, could be announcing that she is joining with her husband and Braun Breaker in that faction. And don't think they had made any announcements of any matches just yet. But I believe we'll probably see more of Roman Reigns and CM Punk. Hopefully we get a announcement for the draft, the WWE draft, and we try to shake things up a bit. I got a comment here in the chat. Just wonder what WWE is going to do with Malachi Black. I feel like he didn't get a big pop like Rusev. Because everybody pretty much saw him coming in with those vignettes that they were putting out.
Yeah.
I mean, after the first one, I automatically knew, oh, okay, it's Aleister Black.
Yeah.
He's making his return because I already followed with how he had left AEW and wanted to come back to WWE. So probably not that big of a pop for him. That's probably why, because everybody knew it was going to be happening. But I really wanted a bigger pop for him because him coming back is going to be pretty awesome. What are you in the middle of doing?
Looking through news.
Oh, you're looking through news? Anything you notice?
Let's see. Wait. Brian Danielson said that All In at Wembley was bigger than winning WWE title at Mania 30.
I'm sorry. How can you outweigh? How can you? I don't know. That was a big thing in his career, winning the WWE title like that.
I know. I'm just
at
reading
WrestleMania. That's like
the headline.
That's like every boy's dream of hitting the home run to win the World Series or throwing the touchdown to win the Super Bowl. For professional wrestling, it's winning the title at WrestleMania in the main event. But you could say a whole wrestling event is greater than that. I don't understand that. I really don't.
Yeah. Or maybe he meant like something he did at All In. I don't know. I don't remember All In a whole lot.
No, actually, I remember bits and pieces of it. I mean, CM Punk versus Samoa Joe. CM Punk having the fight with Jungle Boy backstage. Saraya winning the AEW Women's World Championship in her home country.
Yeah. See. Naomi said something about no more glow.
Well, duh, everyone saw that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, something about that. Yeah, she put it on Twitter.
Everyone,
X.
yeah. Proceed with caution when you read that.
Yeah. WWE must have put a bad taste in his mouth. They probably did, as that Chris, not this Chris, said.
Yeah.
Apparently, according to this, it was John Cena Chance that hijacked that match. I still heard CM Punk.
I heard CM Punk somewhere too, but a lot of people were. I guess a lot of people were saying that the fans kind of hijacked that match because it was starting to become dull and boring, and I guess because not that many people are big fans of Tessa Blanchard.
Yeah, that's true.
Not very many people are, because of personal reasons. Now, as far as this week goes, I don't know what WWE is going to bring. We've got a lot going on. We've got Backlash already starting to get ready to be set up. We already got one of the main events, and that's Cena against Orton for the title.
Yeah.
We could be seeing Dominic go for a title defense, as well as Jey Uso defending his titles. Who do you think would be Jay's first opponent to defend the title against?
Don't know.
A lot of people are speculating it could be Sammy.
Could. Oh yeah. I completely forgot about that. The promo on Raw where it looked like he was either, is he going to attack him? Is he not going to attack him? You know.
And then Jimmy came out.
Yeah.
As far as Dominic goes with his title, I think Finn Balor. And that's going to cause division. I think this year we'll see
The final year
of
Finn
the
and
Judgment Day. No, I just think it's going to be the end of Judgment Day. And
What do you think is going to completely shatter them?
this title reign by Dom. That's what I honestly think.
Oh yeah, because you have JD who's there because for Finn and yeah. I don't know why Carlito's there though.
Well, I'm just saying I'm seeing I'm gonna say we're gonna see a lot of animosity coming from Finn, and it's gonna be directed towards Dominic. What do you keep looking at?
News.
Well, pay attention. People are watching you, dude. Seriously, all they're seeing is you on camera fiddling with your phone. This generation, I swear.
Yeah.
I swear.
This generation. Yep. No. I told you it was that far.
I know that TLC match had probably motivated a few of the tag teams.
Well,
Yeah. I would know that
back in my day,
that's too damn bad.
you keep doing it.
I honestly think that TLC match has sparked something in the tag division.
At least for SmackDown.
At least for SmackDown, to kind of motivate the tag teams to kind of step it up now. Because they set the bar. Those three teams have set the bar when it comes to, and now I'm not talking about Cesaro and Sheamus as the bar, but because we are the bar. Anyway.
Yeah.
Of course, you got Io Sky. Who's next to step up for her, or to step up to her? Of course, you got the Wyatt Six.
Who might be returning at some point.
I want them to return. I really cannot wait for them to return, and Alexa Bliss to join them. Of course, we've got Karrion Kross. We don't know what's going on there. I mean, after that promo that he did, WWE's got to do something with him now, to where they put him up against Logan Paul. They go put him up against AJ Styles.
I'm thinking he might go against Logan Paul.
Either way, I would like to see him.
I don't know.
They're saying we're going to see more of him on TV, which I really hope, because after that promo and the struggles he has gone through these past couple of years, just trying to be on main roster, and then...
Or maybe they'll have him go against AJ Styles because the other guy, Logan Paul, is almost never there.
Yeah.
He's always kind of
Well,
somewhere
I
else.
think we won't see him again until SummerSlam, and that's just my opinion.
Then you have the whole thing with Chad Gable and
Of course,
LWO and El Grande Americano.
El Grande Americano. I think sometime... I think
I'm
that's
thinking mask versus mask match
I think it's gonna come
at
to that.
Backlash.
It's gonna come to that, and I think it's gonna be against Penta. Not.
Or one of the Rays.
I don't think it's gonna be against Ray Phoenix or Dragon Lee. I think it's definitely, well, it could be Penta, but Penta has more desire for a title. So it could be Penta and Dominic for an Intercontinental title.
That's right.
But definitely would like to see a Mask versus Mask, and then we find out it is Chad Gable.
Or find out that it's not Chad Gable.
It would be hilarious if it wasn't
It's
Chad
not
Gable.
Chad Gable.
We find out it's Kurt Angle or someone else.
It's more likely that it's Kurt Angle than Chad Gable. Just saying. There's no proof that it's Chad Gable.
He wasn't wrong in what he was saying. Oh
No,
no,
he was right.
no, he really wasn't. Karrion Kross never wrong, and we reported on that earlier. Reported on that last week on what he said. When I saw that video, I really felt his frustration. It was like, this guy is really, really, really frustrated about this, and I don't blame him one bit in the slightest. So he deserves a push. I mean, the guy was fighting his way to get in through NXT to get to the main roster. Finally gets to the main roster, is told that his wife has been released, and he's got to change the style of his gimmick, where he comes out looking like something from Mad Max, and then gets released, but then gets brought back, and then they try to promote this whole thing with him against Roman Reigns,
Then they cancel it.
and it never happens, and then all of a sudden they're like, okay, we're going to build you back up again. You're going to go up against Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania 40, or WrestleMania 39 rather, and that fell through because sadly Bray Wyatt had passed away.
Yeah.
And then they're like, okay, that was a little curveball, so now we're going to go ahead and give you're going to be making a faction with AOP, and you'll be known as Final Testament, and you'll even have Paul Ellering with you. Legendary manager Paul Ellering. That didn't last very long. AOP
Nope.
got released again, and Paul Ellering got released. So now it's just him and Scarlett, and now we're going to try to get you to be pitted against
AJ Styles.
AJ Styles or Logan Paul, but you know,
One of those guys is almost never there.
yeah, and
Unless they build up for like SummerSlam.
but I
or
could see his
something.
frustration with that the whole thing
Could
though,
work- it could
because
work
everything that he went through NXT and everything, and then here's
Or-
Logan. Or
What they could do, have him go against AJ Styles at Backlash, and then they can build towards Cross versus Paul at SummerSlam. They could do that.
I could see that happening, yeah. Or Karrion Kross. Or Karrion Kross. You've got King and Queen of the Ring coming up later this year.
He could go for that.
He can go for that and become King of the Ring and get a shot at a title at SummerSlam. So it's still unknown what they'll do with Karrion Kross. I really hope that they really push him because he honestly, in my opinion, he deserves it. He really does. He has been there and has been put on the backside. He's got a great character, I think. He's starting to grow into one of my favorites, and love the intro, and that's including how Scarlett's like singing along with the song, and then I mean, if you've seen the entrance, you know what I'm talking about. It's like great.
I like it when they have the entrance match the song in some way.
Yes.
Like,
and then the beats of the music, and he's pounding his chest, and then Scarlett's fall and pray, and then she goes down, and then here comes Karrion like enraged, and the lights go from black and white to red, and it's like, this is intense. We need to pay attention to this guy.
Another one I think that's kind of like that would be Jacob with the pyro.
Oh yeah, Jacob Fatu.
And then another one with like interaction between the music or the sounds and whatnot would be like entrance and what the people are doing would be the Rascals, where they have the fake spray paint on the screen.
Oh yeah, that's well timed. They've tried with the Motor City Machine Guns though.
What do they have?
It's the pyro goes off and it's making it sound like
oh yeah,
pew pews, and you know.
Yeah, and then over here filled the entire, smoke.
Some stuff it really wasn't well timed.
I don't know. I feel like that one was that was probably too much.
Yeah. Of course, there's Cody's entrance, where it's audience participation, and that works just great.
Yeah. Seth also has audience participation. It seems like
He does too. Yeah, that's true. But I think carrying crosses is very, very, very well done. I would like to see him get a singles title. I mean, he did have a singles
he
title.
could go against Jacob.
He can go against Jacob Fatu for all we know. But
I'd still what?
speaking of Jacob, who do you guys think would be his first title? Oh, we forgot about that. That's right. He did win the U.S. title at WrestleMania. His first title defense, I'm not going to say Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre is too big to go to mid-card again. And I don't think LA Knight. He's already had 2 title reigns. But then again, Chris Jericho has had multiple Intercontinental title reigns. I would like to see him go up against either, Karrion Kross, or we see him go up against Solo.
Solo, they'd probably that storyline would probably be longer, I think. But if they wanted to do one sooner, I'd say probably LA Knight, unless they tried to do a triple threat, which I know Dad would love.
I'm getting burnt out on all these triple threat matches.
Same.
Because the one thing that they always do in multi-person, whether it's Fatal 4-Way or triple threat, they always do that one spot where it's someone that's sitting on the turnbuckle gets suplexed, but the person that's doing the suplex is getting power bombed.
Or something like that.
Or something to the similarity of that. Should go up against Braun Strowman. Possibility of there. I could see that happening. Braun Strowman going up against Jacob Fatu for the U.S. title.
That could be interesting.
Very, very well could. Do you see what else do you think?
Breaker was another one I remember we talked about a while back.
Breaker could get his Intercontinental title back. I see Seth.
Well, I mean Jacob versus Breaker.
No.
No.
I see Seth getting into the main title picture again and try to go back and get that World Heavyweight Championship. We could see him going up against Jey Uso for that title. We could see Braun Breaker getting his Intercontinental title back. But you need 2 guys to get the tag titles. And then, I was saying this earlier. Ideally, if you want to be the most dominant faction in your brand, you need to have enough people
to get the titles.
To get all the titles.
Not like what the Judgment Day did.
Yeah, and then they say they have all the gold, but it's like, okay, you don't have the women tag titles. So you really don't have all the gold. So, or at least for that brand.
And I don't think they had a mid-card at the time either.
They did not. Now they have a mid-card, so you need 3 women. Or 4 women, really. 4 men, 4 women. To get each of the titles. And if that's how you want to... If that's how you want to be a dominant faction in WWE on whichever respective brand, it would be that.
Maybe they had like the main golds, but at that time they only had like the world titles for men and women, and then the tag titles, and that's all they had.
That's all they had as far as the brands went.
They didn't have anybody going after a mid card.
No.
So
now they have enough of the titles to evenly say, because you've got 2 tag titles you've got tag titles for men, tag titles for women. Although they've only got 1 set of tag titles for women, and that goes across 3 brands. And I can understand why. The women's tag division is not that strong. It needs to get stronger. If it gets strong again, they can have your NXT Women's Tag Championship. You can have your World Women's Tag Team Champion, and then, of course, your WWE Women's Tag Championship. But the tag division needs to get stronger. That's my opinion. We need to get more women's tag team wrestling in. If we can get, say, like I said, if we can get that faction, like Seth is trying to build, or any faction, get all the gold and be the most dominant faction in WWE by having all the gold for your respective brand.
Yeah.
So for Raw, I see that. SmackDown, I'm not seeing a big, huge faction yet.
Well, not anymore. It used to be the Bloodline, but yeah.
Yeah.
We could be starting. Oh no, we got the Wyatt Six now.
We got the White Six, but they need
They'll
to get back.
probably stop when they get 6 members.
Yeah. Which is going to be
Alexa
Bliss, and that's their 6. So, but we digress. So, how? Okay, so
About an hour. What is it? 9?
yeah, we're gonna
Could be a 3.
could be a 3. Well, we're gonna go ahead
I
and
don't
wrap
know.
things up here. Get some rest up for Monday Night Raw. We will be here tomorrow night to recap everything going on with Monday Night Raw and see what we have hopefully predicted or thought of, or anything that we have talked about may come to fruition. Hopefully, so you can't. And again, just find us on our social medias, TikTok, Twitch. Well, as far as streaming, we got YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, and Kick. As far as social media,
TikTok's a work in progress.
yeah, we're trying to get there. Instagram
Under maintenance and all that.
under construction.
Yeah, we'll just live stream and air, the little bars or whatnot, the rainbow bars, and like an error message.
As far as social media, you can find us on Instagram, Facebook, X, formerly Twitter, or Twitter, formerly known as X.
One of the two.
One of the two.
Time gets confusing.
We're also on Threads, and we do have Discord. Again,
There's a poll in the Discord.
cannot stress that enough. We
Should
need
be
you
out.
guys. We need your votes. And if you have friends that are wrestling fans and want to find a podcast, we're that podcast. We're that show. Spread the word. Tell them our Discord. Share with them the link to our Discord.
Still only got 1 vote on that poll. Poll should be out maybe 9 o'clock tomorrow. 9 o'clock.
And we may extend it. And we don't want to choose match of the week. We want that to be up to you guys.
If it ends with only 1 vote, we'll restart it, or make a new one, and then end it whenever we start the show.
Okay.
You don't? I'll have to fix that whenever I get back on my computer then.
Okay.
See what's going on there.
If you're not seeing it and you're already on our Discord, we'll get it fixed for you. But definitely spread the word of our show. We'd love to hear from you guys and get to meet new wrestling fans. We do have a Patreon page that we're still working, getting that ball rolling. We do have a store. If you're on our YouTube, or if you do go to our YouTube channel, there is a link down below that goes to our store where we have hats, mouse pads, cups, mugs, anything with our face or our logo on it, shirts. Again,
Yeah. Shirts.
So, again,
Shirts.
anything. Oh, wait a minute! I just got breaking news on my watch. Got notification. Shawn Michaels has invited Joe Hendry to NXT to talk with Trick Williams.
Well, we'll see how that goes next week on
NXT.
Tuesday. Yeah.
So hopefully, Shawn Michaels will say his name and he appears.
Yeah.
Because I think he believes in Joe Hendry.
You could say NXT is calling his name.
NXT is calling his name. But again, we'd love for you guys to reach out to us and talk to us. What?
That sounded funnier in my head.
I bet it did. You can also reach out to us on our email, Chris.
Crossfromapod@gmail.com.
And I meant this Chris, not that Chris. Okay.
Or, yeah. This Chris, not that Chris.
Yeah. So we thank you guys for joining us. We do appreciate you guys coming in, stopping by, and getting to know about the recap and the results for TNA Rebellion. We will be here tomorrow night to go over the results and recap Monday Night Raw, as well as any news that may have occurred while you guys were off doing your jobs or getting things taken care of on a Monday.
And then also us just yapping.
Of course, and then of course us just jabbering on about pro wrestling, and then also hopefully we get your guys' votes, and we'll go over the results of the votes and see who wins match of the week, and we'll get that ball rolling as far as matchups. Also, I almost forgot. Do not just to remind you guys, we are as always, I'm this Chris and not that Chris, and we got
Yeah.
He's trying to do our outro for us. But don't forget, we have the cross promo, cross body challenge, where I will be getting back into shape and losing weight. This boy is going to be getting in shape and gaining muscle mass. So we call it the cross body challenge. We'll be documenting. I can't talk. It's been a long night.
That's probably why he did the outro for us.
That's probably why. Yeah, he was like, "Okay, guys, you got to bring it on home. Bring it on home."
Yeah.
No, but we'll be documenting our
Documentary.
Stop it! Stop it, making it feel like I'm saying it wrong. I may be old, but I'm not that old, boy.
We're gonna be what he said, I guess.
So we're gonna be taking note of our journey with my weight loss, and both of us just getting back into shape and getting healthy. Of course, healthy eating and everything like that. So get to watch us and enjoy it. All right. So I think it's high time we go ahead and just end the show tonight. Again, we'll be here tomorrow night. We'll see you guys then for the Cross Promo Show. I'm Kevin.
I'm Chris.
And
we gone. We're off to documenting our weight loss.
Will you
and gain
stop
journey.
trying to correct me on that? I swear to God, I'm going to get a smack so hard.
He's gonna lay the smack down.
I'm going to hurt you.